Hello and welcome to week 2 update for the Iron Throne. A couple things to cover here. Let's make it quick because Daddy is working. First and foremost, we see the commissioner move up to a solid fifth place with a 1-1 record here, going up against what looks to be the current league leader. Again, we are only week 2, still very early. Notice this A plus in scoring for me last week. Now, also notice this best finish of a champion. This is also missing one of my other championships, but that's fine as well. Now, if we go over to not so much the matchup, but the opponent themselves, if we notice here, this opponent has never won a championship on Yahoo. So already going up with a mental edge. His bronze opponent here is had some lucky big games from some of his players. He did win last week in a pretty close match against Aaron's team here. Let's go ahead and look at the matchups. Okay. Well, last week, if we know that Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs stack really did come out swinging for the second week in a row. Notice that this team does have quite a lot of injuries. This is not my final product here. Now, for some reason, Alejandro did not elect to play a flex player, which could have been the difference with this 12-point gap here. So, bold move that didn't seem to pay off there. Tom Brady under 10 points, Jamar Chase under 10 points, Michael Carter under 10 points. That's just not going to cut it. All right, so if we go back to the league, let me see if I just go league here. The next matchup here, real quick, looks like Aaron did lose to Daniel here. Justin Jefferson did not show up. Devontae Adams did not show up. AJ Dillon did not show up. Damian Pierce did not show up, although Damian Pierce did have a lot more run, which does leave those haters to be a little less hateful towards Damian Pierce with more upside looking in coming weeks. Gabe Davis, Aaron elected to keep in, even though he was doubtful. Did not pay off there. Let's see, Daniel's team. Nothing really of note. James Conner and Zeke Elliott just aren't cutting it. Aside from that, Derrick Henry under 10 points, Joe Mixon under 10 points. Looks like Daniel's team is getting off to a sputtering start. Next up, we do have Eddie's Dark Horse versus Alex's team. Close matchup. Eddie has had to deal with some injuries. Just trying to make some early moves to see if that did spur some life into his team. Unfortunately, Devin Singletary just did not put up what he needed to. Brandon Ayuk having a little bit better week this week. Aside from that, LJ almost really brought it home for him. For the win with Alex 2-0, solid start, second place. Miles Sanders looking to be like a good late round snag, another over 10-point game there. Josh Jacobs needs to bring it up a little bit, but Kyler Murray and Cooper Kupp and Mike Williams, these top three really putting over 20-point games, making it a nice return for those picks. Saquon coming back down to earth in week 2, and Chase Edmonds, what is happening there? Next up, we do have the Hertz Locker versus the Bell of the Ball. The Bell of the Ball really coming into surprising 2-0. What am I missing here? Excuse me. Solid 151-point game coming from Jalen Waddle. What a big blow up game for him. Tony Pollard really looking like the dominant back at Dallas, where Nick Chubb's 3 touchdowns with 30 points really bringing it home. Burrow leaves some question marks on this team. But aside from that, looking like a strong competitor. We also have Artie, the Hertz Locker, who kicks men well. They are down, beating me last week while my players were injured and on the ground. That's fine. Jalen Hurts and Tyreek Hill both blow up, yet still not enough to overcome the Bell of the Ball. Maybe if Hawkinson and Judy would have done a little more, although Judy did get hurt. X-rays did come back negative, so hoping he has a quick recovery and back next week. Leonard Fournette did tell fantasy owners that the touchdowns would be coming, so we will see if that's true. Austin Eckler, middle of the road game at 13.9, should be good for more in coming weeks. And finally, the last matchup of the week McChampion versus Rug Doves. Robert starting off with this 0-2. Not the strongest start, where Marcos is picking up his first win thanks to a nice show off from Aaron Jones, who got fed last night. Michael Thomas looking to deliver 2 weeks straight. So, really nice little come out there. San Francisco defense did okay. Fortunately, Robert got hit with that Trey Lance injury. So we will see how he recovers from that. McCaffrey and Sutton, so games. Schultz, I believe, got hurt as well with only zero point 0.8 points. He may be looking at missing some time. So we'll see how Robert recovers from these injuries. Now, coming to this week's matchups, let's go here. Week 3. Looks like the Board Ape Football Club is going against Autumn Wind. That should be a pretty solid, decisive victory for me. The Dark Horse 0-2 going up against Aaron as long as I beat Roberts. Aaron getting his first swing at Mini Robert here with Eddie. We will see how this turns out. Will Aaron get his second win or will Eddie get his first? Alex's team 2-0 going against McChampion. Robert really needs a win this week. Let's see if his team can show out, projecting to be a pretty tight race there. Alejandro's 0-2 versus Bella the Balls 2-0 with the projected points looking to be relatively close as well. But again, we might not have all starters in. And finally, the Hertz Locker versus Ruggs Dub 1-1 versus 1-1. Should be an exciting week here, folks. We will be starting off the week with Thursday Night Football. A few of us will actually be in attendance of the Tennessee Titans Las Vegas Raiders game in Nashville this weekend. So we will see if I can overcome Daniel in person this week, which I do expect to. So thanks for tuning in. I just want to do a one quick shot there update. I'll go ahead and get this sent out for week 2, and we will see how week 3 comes.